Hey everyone, how's it going? It is Thursday, actually, April 1st, so happy April Fool's Day. Hopefully nobody got anything too bad as far as tricks go. But it is 10:42 a.m. Mountain Time, and I wanted to get you to see that I'm at my office. I've been very, very busy, and I wanted to make sure I got a video in today because I haven't done one since Monday. Monday, 3 days. So, and a lot has happened, and you're going to see this in the first headline. But if you see my tabs up here, we're going to go over a lot. So I want to get into it, and I want to get going. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and all the major altcoins. We're going to touch on some lower cap altcoins. So the reason I want to touch on the higher cap altcoins because I think altcoin season is about to kick off. And it's going to be a big one if I'm right, and I'm going to tell you why. So if you're excited about this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If it helped you with some useful information in the past, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Only need 20 more for my first goal of 100, so would definitely greatly appreciate it. Let's get right into it. So the big news that happened was Bitcoin jumps past 59K as PayPal launches crypto payments at 29 million merchants. So essentially 29 million merchants are able to use crypto as payments through PayPal. So that's a pretty big deal. Very, very, very big deal. There's not like a $500 million buy by an institution, but this is just as big in my opinion. This is on Cointelegraph. Feel free to read through this. Again, just going to try to breeze through everything really quickly today and get as much information out there as possible, as detailed as possible within the time. Also, another big piece of news, Tether stablecoin is fully backed, says new assurance report, according to auditing firm Moore Cayman. So, good news. That was one of my biggest worries of the Bitcoin bull run ending, is that Tether is not backed. That would crush the market. So, good news. Again, on Cointelegraph, read through that if you'd like, but we're just going to stick to the headline and a few basic touch points. Next, Bitcoin market cap exceeds Canada's M1 money supply once again. So Bitcoin growing in Canada. Canada recently launched the ETF 2 months ago. So again, that $59,000 mark. We're going to talk about supports and resistances and where Bitcoin's at and where it's heading. But Bitcoin, Canada, good job, Canadians. Next, just to show governments, they don't know what the heck they're doing. UK to focus regulation on stablecoins rather than crypto in general. Report. So they're behind. They're so far behind. And they slept on this, especially the major ones that tried to ban crypto and tried to dismiss it. They're the ones that are the most behind. And you could see the British pound, you can see the US dollar. They're all plummeting in their value, and people think it's going to tank down to zero. Yeah, statistically, over time, currencies do all go to zero, but you got smaller currencies that are getting crushed even more, like, what is it, the Indian rupee or something like that, and the Turkish lira. They are tanking. So if they're tanking faster than the US dollar is tanking, the US dollar is not going to lose its overall value in relation to the rest of the world. Now, its Bitcoin value, yeah, it's going to lose its value. And Bitcoin, is at a $1 trillion market cap. Gold, I think, is at like $12 trillion market cap. So whether gold comes down and Bitcoin goes up, or both of those happen, it's I think over time, that's where Bitcoin's headed, in my opinion, is to kind of be similar store value as gold is. On to the next one, 3/4 is circulating BTC last change hands for less than $10,800. That's not a large amount. What that means is that if you remember I think on CryptoQuant, the Bitcoin moving off exchanges, that just means that the supply is running lower and lower and lower and lower. More and more supply is moving off exchanges into storage, and when there's not enough supply for demand, the price goes up. So those are some news articles that I want to talk on, just the bigger ones over the last few days. And then we can get right into our chart. So I am going to, let's start with Bitcoin, right? Let's start, where are we at? So let's start with Bitcoin. These are the futures. The gap didn't close. Doesn't look like it's gonna. Can it? Yeah, we're meeting a little resistance right here on Bitcoin futures. I don't have a line there. Let's draw one. I haven't really been charting this. I've just mainly been using Bitcoin futures to watch for gaps. But yeah. So you can see a few hits right there. Can't really see because that's in the way. And we've been getting a little rejection there, but we'll look to close over that on the futures, but not a big deal. The gap is at $54,450, so watch for that still. Doesn't mean it can't close just because it didn't. Normally it closes immediately on the Monday, on Monday mornings, and it didn't do that. Doesn't look like it's going to, but you could see like we've had some resistance. Just let's draw another line right here. Sorry, I should have done this before. I've literally spent a lot of time on this before the video, and I should have done this. I'm not going to get too much into the Bitcoin futures charting, but you can see we're meeting multiple resistance, this upward trend line and this support area. So close out of that. Let's go into Bitcoin dominance. Not quite yet. Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin. So you can see we had this previous all-time high, and we broke the trend line there after recovering from breaking this trend line here and kind of bouncing off the 50-day moving average and this longer-term trend line right here. Actually breaking below the 50-day moving average, bouncing off the trend line, and recovering over the 50-day moving average, opening above it, running, getting back up into the shorter-term trend line, and holding after multiple tries to break, and then breaking out past this trend line. So we are breaking out. We are holding above resistance of this previous all-time high, which you can see we've hit multiple times here. Boom, 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 right here even. And we're holding above that. Would love to see it close above that. It does look like Bitcoin is going to move up. And I think that it's going to be a good move. You know, it's not going to be a move like the altcoins are going to move, because I think that as we move up in Bitcoin here, since we dropped on the Bitcoin dominance chart, did I have that open? Right here, which I'll get into shortly, that we can move up on Bitcoin and altcoins are going to move up quicker, and we're going to continue to break down, hopefully, on this Bitcoin dominance chart. Now we are trying to hold here. This is a little high here. I'll jump into this in a second. Let's go right there. Yeah, so we are recovering a little bit, but not very strongly. And I like this trend line from the top of this previous all-time high, February 21st, to the top of this previous all-time high, or the current all-time high, March 13th, and continuing that out further on the chart. Maybe see like a 64,000 area. That would be nice. Not super crazy, but still $5,000 if you own a couple Bitcoin. That's 10 grand. Some support levels. You're still watching this trend line here. You're still going to pay attention to the 50-day moving average, and then jumping into the Bitcoin dominance. So we're looking at altcoin season, right? Look at this RSI dump, right? Boom, what it dumped. But again, we are also, everything's kind of getting in the way. Not that this is super important here, but you can see kind of right there, bouncing right here on the RSI. So you can see where we are above. Let me zoom in a little bit. This support area, you can see we held here, we broke here and recovered. So we're threatening. We're not quite there yet, but it is looking good for Bitcoin dominance to drop. And like we stated, Bitcoin dominance can drop while the Bitcoin price slowly rises. Just means that altcoins are going to take over more of the market cap. We're looking at drop down to the 50. Drop down to the 58.38% area, and you can see we kind of had some support there and right here, and then we're looking for where this double bottomed at, kind of right at the 57.21 area. If we got down to 57, alts will have moved significantly. And then if you really want to get crazy, the previous all-time low, 35, that would be most likely a crazy altcoin run. If you look at the altcoin market, this is mainly why Bitcoin dominance is dropping, is because altcoins are moving up. Altcoin market cap setting new all-time highs by the day. New high, sorry, not quite there. New high, new high, new high. Previous 3 days set new all-time highs. So looking good for altcoins. So now let's jump into the larger cap altcoins, right? So we got Ethereum. Ethereum is breaking out. Plain and simple, very simple to see on the daily chart. Breaking out from the trend line And then the next line of support is where we kind of met resistance here, right? So if you want to be exact as possible, 1944 on Coinbase. We are above that. It was a 1950 at this spot right here. So around the 1950 area, I would say, because you can see we're still below this resistance line. If we close above that with the next candle, if we close above it today, close above it tomorrow, that would be phenomenal. If we close above it today and didn't even drop down below that, that would be even better. But yeah, Ethereum looking really good. They have EIP 1559 sometime in July, so you could see maybe some, by the rumor, some hype leading up to that for a couple months. And yeah, I don't know, we're looking really good. We had this double bottom here. That was the buy point. So that was the buy point. Like this has just been kind of a hold for me, but that was a buy point right there. That double bottom, you could see resistance here, support, double bottom, take off. So we'll kind of watch this short-term trend line too, right? Really short-term. So we'll kind of watch that, not super closely, but that may come into play in the future. It's pretty steep trend line, so I'm more concerned with this one right here, and I'm more concerned with coming above here and holding, and then maybe we'll finally see Ethereum have its big run. It's been on a big run, but not its big run. Litecoin, this gets forgotten about a lot. This is more consolidating. You can see not quite a breakout yet, even though we are moving up. So we'll watch what happens when it hits the resistance here from the trend line, and then we'll watch support at the 230 area, and then of course the previous all-time high of 247. That's actually not an all-time high, but the most recent high. We'll watch that right there. So let's close out of these to kind of declutter this a little bit. And I hope I didn't close out of something I didn't want to. So Bitcoin dominance, yeah, I don't think I did. If I did, I'm sorry, then I missed what I wanted to talk about. Dogecoin broke out today, and I was trying to determine where I want to draw my trend lines from. Like the previous high, I could do that, but that shows an even stronger breakout. So I wanted to be a little more realistic. So I drew it from right here because we have the more recent hits on this trend line, and the more recent, the more relevant. That's what I like to look at. So these become more relevant, which perfectly draws a line to this candle right here. And you could see we took it all the way to the end. Something in my gut was telling me to take a look at Dogecoin yesterday because I hadn't heard about it in a long time. And you can see these previous highs, this was from the 10th of February, so almost a month. So I should have looked at it, because if I would have, we would have had a easy stop loss area and an easy buy the breakout point. So oh well, but there was a Elon Musk tweet. Funny how these things line up, right? How these things line up like that with the tweet that breaks it out and the breakout point. And we're getting rejected below this resistance area, though we did break out pretty high above it. Probably a lot of bag holders, people looking to get out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this close above still on the day. That's what I'd watch for, and to meet this high of the day again. That's what I'd watch for. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Dogecoin, it's not, it's a meme coin. It's not, it's a joke. So don't take too much into this. Trade technicals if you want to. I'm not super bullish on it, though I can see it just kind of as a joke going to $1. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be in it if that happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I'd just be like, wow. Sit back and watch and say, wow, that would be where I'd be on Dogecoin, but hold a little bit all the time just because, but I wouldn't make really much. Okay. Cardano coming with their smart contracts, and then hopefully, the price has been rising without them actually really even doing anything. They're really good coin, better than Ethereum, faster, cheaper, but just no real. They're behind a little bit. So for the price to rise this much, being as behind as they are, just think what would happen if they start to generate a network effect. Like that could be really big for them. And Charles Hoskinson, he was one of the first 8 creators of Ethereum, so he's really intelligent. So, it's the person behind it that might be able to do that. So I have some shorter term lines here. You can see we're kind of flagging. So it looks like we could be in like a longer term consolidation period with Cardano because it just had a major run. The Coinbase listing was the big news, and as soon as it hit Coinbase and started trading, it sold off hard. I think that was here, yeah. Coinbase Pro sold off hard. It's the 18th. Oh, maybe that was, no, definitely not. I thought it was the 18th of March, yeah. So 18th of March is when it started trading on Coinbase Pro. And you can see what happened there. Boom. And then this was probably the news of the Coinbase, the actual Coinbase. Just probably too much hype from here. And so we have some trend lines, a shorter term one, and then I'd really watch this one right here, and then previous all-time highs. Looks like we're going to be in a longer term consolidation. If you ask me what I think is going to happen, probably a couple months. I think Ethereum is going to get the majority of the attention leading into July, and that might not last that long with Cardano, but I mean, if Bitcoin moves up, everything's going to move up. So that's my thoughts on Cardano. Super, kind of chose the Binance chart because that's the only place that it's really listed at as far as a major exchange. The thing I like about Super is the Superverse. If you compare it to Decentraland, Mana, and their market cap, they're about 1/5 of Mana's market cap, and I think the Superverse is going to blow it away. The only problem is the Decentraland is already out, and people are buying mass amounts of NFTs within the game, like wearables. And Superverse is not out. They're creating video games, and their NFTs are going to be the biggest within the video game world. So still early in that. They just had an NFT drop for some of their new, I don't know if they're cards or art, but some of them were, I think the 10 like extremely rare ones were selling for like $20,000 or something like that. There was 10 of those, so he made a crap load of money off of that. I'm going to draw one more support here. Just this double bottom here. So we could see a recovery here. I could also see it coming down and maybe threatening at a head and shoulders. Hopefully it doesn't. So hopefully we hold support here. I did take a little bit of profits when we broke this previous high, just because I was in around $1.20. So I sold half, and I'm just going to hold the rest, see what it does. That's my strategy with that. I like this. This is one of my favorite projects. So just kind of a hopeful, higher risk, definitely higher risk. Their website, let's look, is still not really completed. Sorry, I want to get through this stuff, but I just want to check this out as a new thought that came to my mind. So let's see. So they get stuff going. Oh, so yeah, their website is updated. Awesome. So that's good news. So yeah, these are their NFTs that they sold. I don't think there's any. I may buy one if they're actually still available. Oh, the Genesis series sold out. So yeah. So 4,250 super. So I think there was 10 of these legendaries. 4,250 super. I think it was at $4. So yeah, like $17,000 for each one of these hype lords. So yeah, if they're on sale, I might buy one. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know if I do. Just cause. Filecoin. This has been a monster. So in the Stock Market Mentor forum, Scott Trades, he was talking about it to me since like back here, I think in January at like low $20. And I know specifically I was looking at like $24 or $22, and he said, man, it's so frustrating. This one's so frustrating. And then it just broke out, just cracked and went 100%, and then consolidated. Not even going to draw lines on this. You can see it's parabolic. I think it'll probably go to 300. I would not suggest buying it here. Just look at this. The RSI is at 92. It's the highest the RSI has been. So I wouldn't suggest buying it. I think it'll probably go close to 300 before it has it'll probably have a significant sell-off. So I wouldn't suggest buying it. Maybe for some minor trades, maybe start looking at like some shorter time frames, like a 30-minute time frame will be really telling. So just keep it short term, like in and out. I would say if you're gonna trade it. I mean, this is one after the other, after the other, after the other. So, I mean, yeah, same pattern over and over. And it's just trend. One thing, I didn't really dig too much into it. Whoops, let me delete that. Didn't really dig too much into it, but something with the mining and them not selling and having an agreement. So that could be why it's not selling off. Any little sell-offs, maybe just like a little bit of retail. But you could see leg up, leg up, leg up. So we break this, probably take another leg up. But just be careful. It's pretty parabolic. So this is one you definitely want to be careful on. I could see it going to 300, maybe higher. I don't know, but look at that. I mean, that's parabolic. Be really careful with that one. But phenomenal move. It's one of my favorites. It's become one of my favorites, and now one of my least favorites. Uniswap, only because, man, they hyped up this version 3, and it seemed like, we were threatening breakout, and then version 3 got announced on when it was going to launch, and it broke out and just immediately sold off. It just makes me think like somebody, I mean, obviously there were whispers about it, and obviously people like knew it was going to be coming out, so maybe it's just a lot of people just being really smart, buying the rumor, selling the news, and then, for me, I don't hold a ton of it, but it's like, I've always called it one of the big 3, which, is like Link, Chainlink, Uniswap, and Polkadot. Those are like the big 3 altcoins to me. But you can see threatened breakout, rejection. Then we broke out. It looked like just maybe it was like developers or insiders just like slowly selling off on the news. So I just don't have that. I just have had a bad feeling in my stomach from it when it did sell off. I lost a lot of my gains. So I got a vendetta with them. I don't trade them. They could break out to 100 and I still won't hold any anymore. When there was a support level that broke. I don't know why my lines didn't save on this, but there was a support level that broke that I had to stop. Maybe it was like right here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But I was in the early high teens, right in around this area. Not a lot. I actually bought a little bit on the way up, which I normally don't do. Normally recipe. So came away a little bit ahead. Not my best one. Not my favorite. Plus, I hate them. Gas fees are high. You don't know exactly what price you're buying in at. There's slippage, so you're missing out on some, price gap on the bid and the ask that you don't even see. Gas fees are super high because it's Ethereum based. And yesterday I was trying to sell a coin into some Tether. It was like $5,000 worth, and it took 5 hours. Like, I'm so frustrated with Uniswap. So, anyways, sorry, that's my personal. So I'm not going to trade it because of how I feel personally about them. So, and when I'm emotional about something, that's not a good time to trade it. Okay, Link, breaking out. Check out that breakout from the trend line. Clean break. Kind of getting rejected at this resistance area right here. You can see a couple times here, so we'll watch for that, and then we'll watch for this next resistance around 34.79. Exact price of 34.77, and then of course the previous all-time high of 36.92. Is that the all-time high? That is the all-time high. Okay, so yeah, clean break. So we'll look. It might come back and retest here. We'll watch that. Probably have a buy area if it does retest here, and then we'll watch for the breakdown in here, and which means I'll probably come back down to this trend line, which is a pretty clean trend line. Kind of faked us out here, but this double bottom, it finished a little higher than coming all the way down to this bottom, so that showed a little strength. If you bought right here and you spotted that, great job. The third of the big 3 is Polkadot. So another favorite. You see broke down from this trend line in this pennant, and we recovered within about 10 days, and now we broke out from this trend line. So we're watching this support, this resistance right here. You can see we've been rejected a few times there, so we break that, we'll be looking really strong, and then all we got to do is break the all-time high, which is only been hit once. So My guess, probably hit this all-time high, come back down to probably around, these previous highs. This candle right here, what is that? Around $40. Probably come back down around $40 if we do get rejected here, if we don't just break it and send it. But yeah, looking good. Some support levels down here if you want to watch those around 29.59. And I did draw out this short-term trend line. Again, I'm not super concerned with it because it is really steep. If we held that, we'll probably move pretty significantly and pretty fastly in the upward direction. And yeah, those are levels I'm watching. One of my favorite ones that I just bought a good amount of this morning was Bitcoin Cash, and a little scary right here. Maybe potential head and shoulders that was showing right here, and maybe we're forming another shoulder. So we'll watch for the break of this 602 level. But what really got me was the weekly. This previous all-time high on Coinbase, I wouldn't take that too much to heart, just because this is the day that it listed on Coinbase. And if you were around in 2017 and you saw that 4290, it actually was in like the 8,000 range on Coinbase when it was like 3,500, 4,000 on, I think, Binance and such. And yeah, you couldn't even buy or sell it because the whole site crashed. So I would probably be looking more at like this level to potentially retest. Long term, Bitcoin goes to 100,000. I think, yeah, it goes up here. Bitcoin Cash is just the fork of Bitcoin, and don't quote me on this. Can't remember if it was soft or hard fork, but it allows for larger block size. So the SegWit fork is what kind of fixed the block size for Bitcoin, and this was the alternative to the SegWit fork. So both of them still exist, and this is Bitcoin Cash. So it just allows for bigger block size transactions. But yeah, I would expect if we got up this high, that would be really great. I would expect that. I'd expect a little bit resistance right here too at the 836-ish level, specifically 833.20. But look at that. Look at this like whole range here. Just like that's an accumulation stage. Like from pretty much mid-November 2018. This is a beauty to me. This is an absolute beauty to me. This is a great opportunity. If you feel like you missed the boat on something, this is the chance I want to take right here. This is my probably favorite spot right here is Bitcoin Cash. I'm looking for big things out of this. Hasn't really moved yet. Huge accumulation down here. But yeah. Okay, let's get moving to that. Oh, I wanted to compare it to Altcoins weekly chart. We might have to compare it to the monthly. Doesn't go back far enough on Coinbase. Real quick, let me see if I could find it somewhere else. Altcoin U.S. dollar. Yeah, there it is. What does that Bitcoin Cash chart remind you of a little bit? Look at that. I don't know what happened here with Filecoin. Maybe this is something that is not even relevant to what I'm talking about, but look at that previous all-time high. Accumulation for weeks and weeks and weeks. This was a little shorter accumulation phase. So, but look at that. Accumulation, then pop, boom, just took off. Am I saying Bitcoin Cash is going to do that? No, but this is what it kind of reminded me of. So anyways, let's get into some altcoins real quick. Just got to talk about some that I talked in the past. Phantom, one that hasn't really performed through the month of March, looking to in April, just needs some time. I did have a chart on this, but it was kind of in a, this trend line here, and it's kind of breaking out. Hard to chart on here. Is it on TradingView? Let's see. Sorry, I didn't really want to get into the charts too much of these, but this one is kind of important. Let's go to the 1 day. Nice. Let's draw a trend line. So, most recent, most relevant. So you can see it's breaking out. Even if you wanted to come more like that, which wouldn't make much sense, but we're breaking out here. we did retest the trend line. I'm looking for big things out of Phantom. They have $1 billion market cap. I could see it double, tripling, quadrupling from here. It's been really disappointing. So again, don't quote me on this, but I'm just following, my kind of thoughts based off of the price action in the chart. So next, YFDI, one of my favorites, hanging around that 6,000 area. I wouldn't call it frustrating, but it's just like, this is my biggest altcoin holding, and I think it's got the most potential. The one thing I do think that holds it back is its actual price. People see that and they compare it to Bitcoin, which Bitcoin's at 60,000. So if it ever got to like 10, 20,000, let's say it got to 50,000, they're going to be like, it's not going to pass Bitcoin. That's the same problem that Yearn Finance comes across, I think, even though it did pass Bitcoin's price once. But look at the market cap, 24 million. They're starting to launch their programs. You had Impulse Ven, which didn't do super great. It went up to like $3.60, and now it's half that. So it has climbed back up. It was in the 150s, 140s even. No, was it? I don't think it came down that low. But you can see starting to accumulate, selling off his stop. Could it take another drop? Sure. I'm just holding what I have. It's a high risk new project. So it was the first launch on the YFDI platform, and they partnered with DuckDAO for that. And let's see, close out a super farm. The next one, which I just got my pre-sale allocation to, is Digital Fitness. I enjoy this just because I was in the fitness industry for 9 years, worked under Bob Khalil, trainer for Stipe Miocic, and taught at the National Personal Training Institute. I'm an outdoors person, so I'm interested to see what they come up with. I haven't heard of any other fitness apps, so the fact that they're standalone, that's kind of cool. And I tried to get into a Fastest Fingers for another $500 worth, so we'll see. I don't think I'll buy anything at the open. That just gets you into trouble. It's like kind of buying an IPO on the stock market. There's no way to know which way it's going to move off the bat. So DFit, check them out, pay attention. I'll keep updated, not too much just because they're so new, but I'm definitely looking forward to another launch on there. And then I'm looking forward to the SafeSwap governance token launching as well and getting my airdrop over 6 months. That'll be cool. Again, staking 72% APY in YFDI, and it's slowly moving up. Its previous all-time high was like 7,200-ish. These are never right. 7,081. It's somewhere close to that. 7,100 or 7,200, something like that. But I see it everywhere. People like it. I think the one thing that hurts it is the actual price. I like if you go to their website and look at their roadmap, what they have coming up, a lot of good things. This has a lot of potential still. $24 million market cap. If you look at YFI, which is the number one competitor in their space, at a 1.3 billion market cap, 37,000. So, if YFDI got to half of that, 15,000, they'd still only be at a 65-ish million dollar market cap. 70 million, they're at 1.3 billion. So that's if they got to like half of that. So the adoption and them starting a network effect, I like. So a lot of potential, still high risk. Another one, Polygon, Matic, connecting projects on the Ethereum chain. Really like it. It took a major move. So, it went all the way from under 2 cents all the way up to 55. It is at 36 cents, which is still almost a $2 billion market cap. I don't think it's done. It's still getting adopted and still going to move. I do like it as a project. Some of the lower ones we already talked about, Impulse Ven and Digital Fitness. Talked about Polygon. Phoenix Flow, they're launching their exchange in May, and they're going to solve a issue. I don't know if anybody will ever solve the issue of having to use multiple exchanges and transferring money around. And I'm really excited for that. And with the launch, I could see a lot of hype building up to the launch. And I don't want to tell people to sell the news, but it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news over the month of April, especially if they get a hard date in May. of when the launch is and it actually happens. I could see it slowly building up from here. It was at a high, of close to 150, 145, sold off below $1. I didn't buy any more. I was in, bought down from 80 to 40 cents back here, or even whenever they launched. They went up to like 80 cents. I bought at 60 down to 40, bought again at 80 when it rose up. And yeah, I could see this being a really big project. The guy who's an advisor for it, Coach K on Twitter, sorry, I hate going by YouTubers because they pump really hard. He is also an advisor for Eternity Chain, a couple of ShopX, and Paid Network, which Paid Network has been recovering too. I mentioned that one also. It's a network, obviously, Paid Network. They launched on PokeStarter. They had a big time hack, if that's what you believe. I think I believe it. And they went down to like 10, 20 cents, but you couldn't buy it there. You couldn't buy it until they relaunched it, and it was at like $2.20, something like that. But good to see them doing well again. Hopefully they've put into place anything that prevents that in the future. So you can see how big these things have moved, that he's an advisor for. So this was down. This was down. After it launched, it was like 10 cents, 20 cents. So this moved significantly. Anyways, let's move on. I wanted to show the movers. Origin Protocol. Only reason I mentioned this is because in the Stock Market Mentor Forum, we had a member mention it, and it was like right here at like 95 cents. And then like the next day I woke up, I was starting to look into it because they have a really good stablecoin API. It's like 15% on their stablecoin, which is Origin Dollar. And the next morning, it was like at night, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I'll look at it some more in the morning. And then it like shot up to $2.21. I'm like, wow, great for him. Phenomenal. Like if it was like something where like, oh, I'm just going to buy just because he said it, I would have made a lot of money. But it's looking good. They're getting into the NFT space, and I'm still looking into them more and more and more. Look at that volume. Just a lot of good signs on the CoinGecko chart, at least for that matter. One that I can't believe hasn't started to take off again yet. I started buying it again. Is PokeStarter. This is the number one launch pad in all of crypto, in my opinion. And you got project after project after project launching, and it's the most successful launch pad there is. It just is. The most successful launches come off of this project. And that's all I'm going to say about it. One of those, Pokemon. If you saw a couple videos ago, at the end of the video, I talked about the Pokemon egg. There's like 180 of them, but there was like 100 or 200,000 people who got an egg, and one person had like a baby dragon hatch, and it's selling for like $30,000 on OpenSea. Crazy times we live in. But yeah, this one has had a pretty good performance right out the gate. From pre-sale was much lower than that, but already a $64 million market cap, and it just launched. The name probably has a lot to do with it. It's NFTs, they're cute little dinosaurs, so not a bad idea. And then I just want to touch on Polka Markets. This is one. It's a lot of people are calling for this to be the best project launch this year, and I wanted to touch on it just because I can't get into it just because I don't understand the prediction markets, and I don't know. I can't get behind them, but wanted to touch on it. It has had a 23.5% gain today, so I think I was looking at this around the $2 area. Yeah, so been kind of up and down. It came up to over 350, so it was looking strong and then sold off. I don't know what's been happening with it, but just wanted to touch on it. Could be a good opportunity to buy coming back down here. The other one is Exceed Me. This is off of PokeStarter, and this is like betting with Exceed Me tokens on video games. So you're playing, I don't know, I'm old school, Halo 2. Say you're playing Halo 2, even though it's not set up with that. I'm sure it's with some of the newer games. And you bet that you're going to beat the other person. And so you bet against each other in Exceed Me tokens. I'm sure there's more to it. That was the initial thought with it, but it did have a huge rise up. There is a YouTube, I'm not going to name his name, he pumped it pretty hard. I think he bought like $100,000 worth at 60 cents, and I mean, why wouldn't he sell a little bit? I'm sure he's holding a lot for the long term. But went to $1.80, so great, gained $1, made a lot of money, probably like 150 grand, I don't know. So so just wanted to touch on those. I want to end the video. Again, if you did enjoy this video, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Can't even talk anymore. I'm trying to talk quiet just because there are other offices here, and hopefully that doesn't affect the excitement or the level. But yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. There is a free 30-day link to Stock Market Mentor forums. We have a growing community of crypto traders, and get ideas like Filecoin at 20 cents, Polkadot at $5, and OGN at under $1. That shot up like 200%. We've been talking about Super Farm in there since about $1.16. That went to over $4.50. So we're not geniuses. Everything's going up in crypto, but we're getting eyes on it. So we mention it. So we're getting eyes on these projects. So free 30 days. What do you got to lose? It's fun. Stocks and options as well with some of the best in the industry. So again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. 20 more to go to get to 100. I would greatly appreciate it. That's a short-term small goal of mine, and then I'll have new goals beyond that. So if you have a comment or question, concern, or you liked it or you didn't like it, you want to tell me what you liked and didn't like, leave a comment in the comment section. And have a great day. That's all. Goodbye.